Okay, so tonight what we're going to be talking about evaluating your idea and finding the pain point and what is your niche. Um, we want to really do this because this is really the basics of what allows you to focus on a particular thing in your business, to know why your business, to know the purpose of your business, what situation or what pain or what problem it solves, and what is your niche? What is that particular thing that you do better than everybody else that people are going to buy your service or product?
Yes, sir.
So as usual, you will always see, we will always talk about the 7 laws of wealth, and number 6 is the main one we want to talk about. Thou shalt own thy own business. Thou shalt own thy own business. Even though when you talk about wealth begins, number 1, wealth begins in the mind, but ends in pursuit long-term direction. So it's a mind thing. You have to make a decision that you will not be poor. You will have to believe in thyself when no one else will. To thy own self be true. Find your unique gifts. And how may I serve thee? Number 7, make thy money grow. So when you talk about a business idea, you talk about a business idea. A business idea cannot survive on the ideal alone, because everybody has a bunch of ideas, but on the foundation or the structure upon which your business was built. The structure of your business encompasses your idea and forms the foundation of your business. So what they're saying is everybody got ideas, but the idea alone just not going to make it. So there has to be a foundation, there has to be a structure that your business stands on. The idea is what forms the structure and foundation. Evaluate your idea. Wayne Gretzky, hockey player, one of the greatest hockey players ever. I don't know if you ever heard about him, but
yeah,
okay. To use an ice hockey analogy from Wayne Gretzky, too many people are skating to where the puck was, not where it will be. Once a trend has been identified, people rush to copy the hot new item. The marketplace then gets littered with similar businesses trying to do the same thing as the market leader. But those similar businesses have little market share. Competitors rush to make a new version of the next hot item. Why bother? Why bother? The market leaders can easily create the exact same segment they're in and crush you. So there's nothing new to them, even though you can come with something new, but it doesn't matter to them. There is no barrier to enter, which is not necessarily a large issue, but it becomes one when your success is predicted on having large volumes of customers. Market leaders have the infrastructure, the funding, the systems, media buzz to do it. They do not have to buy your company. They will not compete with you. They will simply crush you. So underline a couple of key words: infrastructure, funding, systems, and media buzz. This should be something that you should be focused on and leading to. How is the infrastructure of your business? What is the first thing we talk about before S's? Structure. So you got to really be, as you're developing the business now, what is that? How is that infrastructure going to look? How is it going to flow? When you talk about infrastructure, you're talking about when they first come in the front door, what is the process to going out the back door? What does that look like? They come in, they do A, they do B, they do C, and then they leave. How does that look? And is it a nice even flow? Finding the pain point. So what if you can see the bigger picture? You can see, look, man, look, I got the solution. I got this thing. I know what people need. How do you apply that concept set to evaluating your own idea for business? More importantly, What customer problem will your business idea solve? Hint, watch this. The severity of the customer problem increases your chances of success. So the bigger the problem that you can solve, the easier the easier your success will depend on. So a lot of times, people want to take the easy way out and just, doing the same thing everybody else doing. But in your particular field, right? And we talked about this last week. It is a big problem for people who have computers who are kind of older, right? Even some young, but basically that's, 40 to 60 years old, and their computer get messed up. They don't have a clue what to do. They don't, unless they talk to the grandsons or the kids, and if they can't come fix it, then, how do they get it fixed?
Right.
Your chances of entrepreneurial success greatly increases when your company or idea solves an identifiable problem or customer pain point. When a customer pain point are you're solving, what customer pain point are you solving? Not all ideas make good businesses. Not all problems worth solving. More importantly, not all businesses solve problems or address pain points. So what customer pain point are you solving? That's a question. Let's stop for a second.
Okay. Well, what I came up with after we talked last week, I came up with focusing on storage and security, because pretty much all businesses use technology in some capacity. Most use computers or laptops. They're gonna have very important data on their laptops, on their desktops, on their devices. And if you don't got a plan or backup storage, I mean, you're pretty much already at risk. And one day there's gonna be a failure. So I came up with just focusing in on the storage, providing basically solutions to back up, secure, and recover the data quickly, and just focusing in on that as a niche.
Okay. The pain point. The pain point for you is your headache, and the aspirin is the solution for that pain point. Solving that pain point also makes it easier to explain to your customers why they should buy your product or use your services at a premium. Very few customers will argue or negotiate a lower price if that value you're providing exceeds their need to save a few dollars. That is something very important. Value. Always remember, with greater value, cost is never an issue. So you don't never have to undersell yourself, even if you're a startup. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Solving an identifiable and pressing problem makes it easier to educate your customers on the benefits of your product or service. Underline that word, educate. Educate. So you're educating your customer about something, about what they have. It's like, okay, I own a computer, and I pretty much know about my computer. But now you're going to educate me about some things that I don't know about my computer, because there could be a problem. But there is a problem. Now, is what you're doing, is there any preventive maintenance to what you're doing, or you catch it after the problem has already happened?
Oh, no. It's all preventive.
Okay.
No, I take that back. It's not all preventive, because most of it's preventive, because the backups, I mean, that's not a one-time thing. You got to, as much as you make data, I'm providing a system, a system to where we can do backups weekly, depending on the business model, depending on what the business is, but perform backups periodically. And then in the situation of a disaster, then I also offer recovery, where I will make sure I get them back up running, back up to where they were, restore their data. So it's really a backup, secure, because I'm gonna provide security as well, like antivirus, malware protection, and a recovery process too.
Because the only reason why I said that because I never heard you say the word preventive.
Gotcha.
That's a key word.
All right.
As you're selling somebody, you're talking to somebody who has a computer. They might not have a problem yet. Potential customers also. Okay.
Wow, I don't think I used that word. You know what?
It's down there.
I used it down on question 3 on the timing.
Okay. All right. 3 major factors equal an idea. I would submit that 3 major factors are essential for your idea to have real potential. 1, opportunity. 2, customer benefits. And 3, timing. These are some of the stuff we already went over. Idea validation, we went over that already. Entrepreneurs often lack enough confidence in the idea to attempt executing them. Underline, lack enough confidence. Because really, you're selling an idea, but you're selling yourself.
Exactly. Okay.
And that confidence will flow. I'm more likely to give you my money if I see you're confident in what you're doing. If I don't see you stumbling, bumbling off over your words, if I don't see you sweating and everything while you're trying to, it's almost like you have to be careful because you're a new business that you're trying so hard not to lose the business, you're not trying to get the business. It make sense?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So you got to change your mindset of not trying to lose the business, but trying to get the business. That's a whole different mindset. That's a whole different frame. That's a whole different, you articulate that much differently than when you articulate not trying to lose a business, not trying to lose a job, right? That you don't even have. What's your niche? One of the best ways to increase your chances of success is to define your niche market. What's your niche market?
My niche market. Healthcare companies. My niche market would be any company or organization that has a lot of data to store. All companies have it, but there are certain types of companies that have more, like healthcare companies, law offices, accounting offices. I would say those would be some of the top ones that I would look to target.
So that's your top 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I was just reading a book and I was studying with Benny Crum. He's a consultant. Well, guess how he's a multimillionaire. He became a multimillionaire as a consultant, right? A private consultant working out of his house. Guess how many clients he had?
How many?
5.
Wow.
He pinpointed a particular niche, a particular segment, right? It wasn't 3 or 4. It was all 5 similar companies that were doing similar things. So he didn't have to reproduce anything differently because they were all the same. Okay? A niche market is a specific section of a larger market. So you underline it. A specific section of a larger market. Because like you said any company. This is what you said. You said any company, right?
Right.
Is that a specific section of the market of IT, or is that general?
That right there is general. Okay. That is.
So you got to, and even though you said 3 different companies, but what is the specific section that you're looking for in that market? Because what were the 3? What were the 3 again?
The 3 were healthcare companies, law offices, accounting offices, or accounting.
So if you just focus, for instance, if you started focusing on and producing and coming up with a plan and a marketing plan and a package for healthcare agencies, that's your first niche. That's your first section out of the three, and just focus on that particular segment, right? Wouldn't that be much easier, right? Then hold on a second. I definitely. Hey, Mr. Ahmad, yes, sir. Uh-huh. Send it to ray.wilkerson@exodushouseno.com. Look, let me call you right back because I'm on this webinar. So did you get it? ray.wilkerson@exodushouseno.com. Thank you. So you see what I'm saying? So even though you narrowed it down to three, it's still three different types of businesses.
Yes.
So that means you have to have three different types of plans, or it don't matter because it's IT.
I would say the healthcare definitely different because they're under the HIPAA Act of 1996, which requires that they have to have a certain level of security. So that kind of separates them from the other two. I would say law and accounting would probably go hand in hand.
Okay. So just be specific. Just you probably can do both, but you wanna perfect one before you go to the other. Or if it's not too strenuous, perfect one, work on the other. But you want to be careful. You want to be specific now. Okay.
Gotcha.
Finding a niche market requires you to focus your efforts to a specific group defined by a variety of characteristics. You see that word specific group? And how is it defined? By certain characteristics of that business. These characteristics, generally called demographics, describe the people within that particular specific group of a larger market. In other words, you have to focus on a very specific cross-section of people when you start out. Let's be very specific. Let's not be general. Let's not say any business. But if I'm trying to give you, if I want to give you business, or if I start talking to you and you don't know who I really am, and I asked about you and you say any businesses that need this, I'm like, okay, so you're not talking about my specific business.
Mm.
Jack of all trades, but a master of what? Bam. What's your niche? Here are some of the many benefits of defining your niche. Market research. You perform market research at the same time that you're identifying your niche market. Why? You are performing market research. You're researching the people, the market that you want to get into at the same time that you're identifying your niche, because your niche and the market research the information you get from your market research should match. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So I'm doing a demographic. I'm searching out specific groups of people, right? Because this is what I do specifically, like you said, restoring and all that stuff, the preventive stuff. Okay, here are some of the many benefits in defining your niche. Okay, one a benefit is to, while you do your research, you identify, but watch this. Number two, fewer capital requirements. You will need less capital to market and promote your idea when you focus on a specific niche. See, when you general, or you trying to do 5 or 6 different types of businesses, that means you got to market it differently each business, right?
Very true. Very true.
Now, some might be the same, some might be similar. And then, but that means you got 3 or 4 different pitches. You got 3 or 4 different marketing plans. You got three or 4 different proposals or whatever, and just starting off.
Yeah,
that could be expensive after a while. Number 3, increase pricing. Targeting your niche allows you to focus on a particular needs of that market, which means you can often charge a premium for goods or services. Increase pricing. Number 4, provide great service or product. Less time and fewer resources spent servicing other areas mean you can focus primarily on your niche market and provide it with excellent service. You're not all over the place. Remember, you said any company. So I'm dealing with all these different companies, man. They got all these different problems, right? That I got to deal with even because what happens is, and I think you already know this, you'll come in and you're looking at one problem and then there's something else there. There's something else there. They thought it was this, but when you do analysis of however you want to do your analysis, all of a sudden it ain't the same thing. So what generally would have took 4 hours now is taking 2 days. Choosing a niche is imperative. Remember what the niche is: a specific group, a specific market of a larger group. Remember, this group is the field you're in is already established. There are mega IT, corporate, 500 companies. You can't compete with them, but you can compete with a section of them, because they get so big, whatever their primary purpose, they have all these different departments, right? All of them ain't top-notch departments. When you're in that field and you're trying to compete with any companies, when you say any companies, that means you're dealing with multiple problems from multiple companies. That big corporation can deal with multiple problems. You just need to deal with one problem. You have the solution for one problem in your field that is better than you solve it better than everybody else. Choosing a niche for your business is imperative to your success. You specifically lower the chances of success by not choosing one. Underline one. You can't provide the best service to your customers if you have a focus on a wide range of services. So you're good right now because you have narrowed it down to a particular service that you want to do. You might run, like I said, you have to be very careful because you'll get into a job and you'll see other things that is not you can fix, but they're not your particular niche. And what you don't want to do is get in a job and you start swaying from your niche, and then they say, okay, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And a lot of times that money will look good, right? And I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying you got to be careful. Because if you do it for one job, the next thing you know, you'll start incorporating that in with other jobs. Okay, we do this, and this. And before you know it, you got all this, you got a wide range of stuff, right? Because that money was looking good. All right? The best solution is to become an expert in a subsection of your field. An expert, underline the word expert. Subsection of your field. Many professionals specializes in a target subsection of their craft or profession. Personalize, specialize. Professional, specialize. Remember, you're a specialist. You're an IT specialist. On your on your you specialize in, bam, what you said on your flyer, or a good caption on your business card. We specialize in, bam, because they know specifically why they calling you, not to come over and change the battery of my laptop. You got it?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Got any questions so far?
No. Very clear. Very
Okay.
clear.
How many of you know experts in your field? Do you know experts in your field?
I know of one local independent tech in this area that's been doing it for a good while. I'm actually scheduled to meet lunch with him. We're supposed to do a lunch tomorrow after Bible study. And so I know one person that I would say that I would consider that's an expert in the independent IT game in the local area here.
So when you meet him tomorrow, this is next. How did they become experts, and why are they well known?
Man, he's been in the game for a while. I think he got known at doing at working for Vanderbilt, and then I think somehow they ended up butting heads, and he left and went out on his own. So I think that's kind of like how he made a name for himself.
Well, you're gonna find that out tomorrow at lunch.
All right.
You're gonna find out how did he become an expert, and you're gonna find out how did he become well known.
All right. Nice.
Choosing a niche is imperative. These experts have skillfully differentiated themselves from the rest of the market. So you need this. What did he do to differentiate, that cause him to be different from somebody else doing the same thing?
Wow.
Okay? In other words, they are above average and highly sought after, focusing on a niche and specializing in a particular area. Specializing in a particular area increases the chances that you will succeed and grow. You see how this thing is specific? When you're talking about a niche, don't go outside of your boundaries. If you say, this is my niche, this is what I'm going to do, focus on that. And you want people to call you for that. People will call you up and say, now after you get some clients and get them to sign some contracts, they might call you up and say, you got a year's contract with them, you're on contract with them. They might call you up and say, do you do this? And what you gonna say?
I mean, after I got the contracts, I'll look at it. I have to evaluate it, see if I can do that.
And say you can do it.
Okay.
You can do it. So what do you do? What do you do next?
Well, I'm gonna do it. At that point, I'm gonna evaluate it. If I can't do it, I'm gonna pass it to a colleague.
No, I'm saying you can do it. This is the example. You can do it. So what do you do next?
Then at that point, I would say it's probably time to maybe look at adding that to the model.
No. Just make an invoice for that particular thing.
Right. Okay.
You already have a contract of what you're supposed to do. Anything outside the contract, you just invoice them.
I got you.
Make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, yeah. Don't change the contract. Don't put no amendments in it or nothing. Just invoice them for it. And inside your contract, make sure you have that stated. Anything else, any extra work will be invoiced at the customer's expense. Something like that. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because if you add it to it, you're losing money. Every large company that you know today most likely started as a niche business. Wow, that's something good to know. They were able to grow into a larger company after, watch this, what's that next word? Dominating their niche, providing the best service and becoming a market leader, just taking over. I mean, when people think about what you do, when they just call you automatically. They know. Matter of fact, when other businesses talk to other businesses, you know any good IT guys? What IT for what? Well, look, my guy. Here are a few examples. Watch this. This is encouraging. Facebook originally started as a social network for Harvard students only. Wow. Google originally started as a more intuitive search engine that focused on increasing the likelihood of receiving relevant search results. Wow. Apple originally started as a personal computer company, but has grown into providing customers with portable digital listening devices, iPod, phone, computer, cells, and so forth. Wow. In sum, defining and focusing on a niche allows you to what? 1, dominate your market. 2, provide the best services to your customers as a result of focusing on a few. Become an expert in your particular market, which increases the likelihood of free publicity and media appearances. And 4, acquire your first customer, make money to fund your future operations. That is your niche. So what I put in here, so you always in your segments, contact information, businesses that I have, bam. That is your niche. Wow, it got you thinking, huh? Focus, remember, focus, specific, and target population. Narrow it down. Remember, your mission statement. Seven words that a 6-year-old can understand. So we want to filter down a little more. You said health, hospitals, you said lawyers, you said accountants. When you do your demographic, which one of them will you get the more bang out of your butt? And which one of them is less competitive field where you don't have to deal with bigger companies? Now, if hospitals probably is most lucrative, but hospitals probably be the most hardest because they probably already deal with established big companies. Your accounting firms and your law offices, you can actually monopolize Memphis. You see what I'm saying? Not just black. I know we like black, but this is business. You want black, right, white, Puerto Rican, Oriental, anybody that, and you want to get them, you want to get that first customer, and you want to get them under contract, or you want to at least get that first service, right?
Right.
You want to get your first customer. You can go on the phone book or Google and get 100 law offices in Memphis and do your first mailing. Do your first mailing. Bam. Shoot it out. Shoot your prices. Tell them why the benefit. You know, if you're a small firm, wouldn't it be something to lose all your information? Well, tell you what, we can prevent it, and if it do happen, we can restore it. Man, you can use that. You see what I'm saying? So think about it. Am I going to think about I was looking at this pastor friend of mine, right? And he has all these churches underneath him. And I started noticing, right? I started noticing